Hey guys, Mrs. Gatch here. Today for our latest Photoshop assignment, we are going to be placing ourselves into a famous photo using our very own faces. This assignment's a lot of fun and it gives you a chance to use a bit of warping and having fun with adjustment layers and actually working around with different kinds of layers. So let's go ahead and get started. You're gonna need two things: a photo to place yourself in. To start off, I would definitely suggest working in black and white. That's what I'm gonna be doing right now. But eventually, if you wanna try putting yourself into a color photo, it's a bit more advanced, but go ahead and try it out. And then the picture of you, make sure it's high quality and it's really well lit and it's against a solid color, or it's just a picture where you'll be able to crop yourself out fairly easily. There's a lot of fun that you guys can have with this. I sometimes like to take a picture that's in color and turn it into black and white because it makes matching color skin tones a lot easier, or you can try to pick somebody who has similar skin tone like you and pop it in. Luckily, me and Beyonce are practically sisters, so it's really easy for me to just put my head right on top of hers. All right, this is how you guys will turn it in, but I'm gonna go ahead and get you started. All right, to get started on our project, you need to make sure, like I said before, to have two things: your portrait and the picture that you want to drop it in, or we're going to be embedding your face into. The first step that you guys need to do is actually cut out your face out of your portrait. And it's always good to take note of your portrait, the one that you're going to be using, and the place you're going to be embedding in, that it's not, they don't have to look exactly the same, but you definitely want to make sure that the face is facing in the same direction. So for example, if I was going to use my face but then put it onto Kylie's, it would not work as well because I'm not looking up and towards the left. So it's really important that you guys take time to pick the right photo and the one that you're going to drop it into. So I'm going to go and take some time and do a nice quick selection of my entire face. Ooh. And just my face, because I don't need the hair. And I want to make sure that I get all of my face in regards to my chin. It's going really in. So a little bit. And it's okay actually if there's extra. Be able to take it out. I like to have a bit of my hairline just in case I think I might need it, because I can always erase it after. All right, do a bit of select and mask. Actually, I'm gonna took up a bit of my chin, way too much. You know, perfect. Okay, select and mask, make sure that's nice. And you always want to make sure when you open up the select and mask window that you are on the refine edge tool, okay? You're on the refine edge brush tool. And I'm gonna go around and try to make sure I get as much as my face. And this is not exactly the highest quality photo, just because I'm taking like a big area and cutting it small, but it doesn't matter because if you obviously see how tiny my face is gonna be within the portrait, it'll work out. All right. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about this. I'm gonna go ahead and do, some people like to do the Decontaminate Colors. I think it helps out. I'm gonna go and do it as a new layer, okay? New layer, there is my face, and very easily, I'm going to make sure I get out of deselect and take it and bring it into the Kardashians picture. And now we need to do a bit of free transforming. So I'm gonna zoom out, Command T, the magical transform, and bring it to where I want. But now we're starting to notice there is an issue. And this is one thing that I did want to bring up. If I just place my face on top of Kim's and I hit enter, this isn't gonna work because she has her hair in front of her face. There's a really easy way to work around this. So I'm actually going to turn off my face for a second because it's really creepy. And I'm gonna make a copy of Kim's hair that I'm gonna be putting over my face. So I'm gonna select, make sure I'm on the background, go back to my quick select, and just choose her hair, all right? You guys gotta be really careful about that. You don't wanna choose anything else on her face because you're gonna see what I'm gonna be doing. But I don't have to choose all of her hair. That's something else you need to keep in mind. And it's not so much here, you don't need to make sure about doing this whole refine edge unless you really want to, because it's just going to be around here that we want it. So I want to do the refine edge around her face and nothing else, because that's obviously where I'm going to be putting in my hair and copying it. All right, so okay. Don't need the shadow, and be very careful about this. So when I'm back here, and you're going to hit Control click layer via copy, okay? Layer via copy. Now I'm going to turn my face back on, select, bring my face here, and do you see now where the hair layer is right here? I want to make sure that the hair layer is over my face, because that's how it is in her face, all right? This looks so creepy. So now I'm going to start working with my free transform. So I'm going to make my face smaller as much as I can, see what works, move it around. And if I'm feeling pretty good about this one right here, I can leave it. Some other fun tools you guys could use is, I always like to show my kids the warp tool, and warp is really fun. You make sure you're selected on your picture and you go to edit, transform, warp. And warp, it lays a net over your face, and what it does, it allows you to move and adjust where it really, really fits. This is like a fun way where people are skinny. And I usually like to do it for my chin, so if I had to make it longer, shorter. And then I actually thought it looked pretty good before. When you're done, you just hit enter. So warp is a really fun one to use. Finally, I do feel like I need to brighten my face a bit, because if you see my face and you see all these beautiful Kardashian women, I'm definitely a bit duller. So that's where those adjustment layers come in. So I'm going to hit Command and click on my layer, and then now you're able to add all of these adjustments here. So you have brightness, contrast, levels, curves, and my just thing is, I suggest experiment with them. You never know what's gonna happen. So let's say I wanted to start off maybe with my brightness. Can turn up my brightness a bit. All right, so it now looks like I'm getting a bit more light on my face. I can also then select again. So there's two different ways you can do this. You can click on where you did the mask and add mask to selection, or go back to your face, hit Command click, it selects it. People like to adjust curves. I think it helps out sometimes too. Just mess with it a bit and see until you feel like what you have is working perfectly. But remember, it's not always going to be a same exact copy. But once you guys feel emotionally like, all right, I think this is a pretty good choice, go ahead and just export it as a PNG. This is a really fun project, and there are ones where you can turn it into black and white. I'm going to go ahead and upload another example so you guys can see other ways that I like to combine my faces. But for the most part, the tools that you're going to need are obviously your quick selection, working with layers, adding in those layers, and also transforming and making copy of things on the portrait that you're dropping them into, because the more you can layer, it makes it look a lot more authentic. I'm really excited to see what you guys produce. Good luck.